So this week, guys, we had the confirmation that Greece and Cyprus will be added for Israel, right? But specifically Greece, since Cyprus doesn't have any jets, what are the jets that can come to Israel that will really bring something to the table for Israel, right? I'm going to talk about 4 options here that are going to fill a gap in that tech tree that it's needed, in my opinion. Okay, so we start off with a top tier jet. So Israel doesn't have anything that is really top tier, right? We have a 14.0 RAM, right? The F-15I. And of course, after that, there isn't really something there that can really be called a 14.3, I don't think, for now. And yeah, it's gonna be a straight jump to a 5th generation F-35 in the far future, right? So what is this gap between the 4th generation current in the game and a top tier right now, of course, being a top tier right now, that will fill the gap between the 4th generations right now and the 5th generations in the future with something like an F-35, right? So the Rafale, guys, the Rafale is a vehicle that the Greek Air Force, the Hellenic Air Force uses, that would fill that gap with a PESA radar, with an ESA radar technically, right? With Mika missiles being the best performing jet probably in the game, it would make sure that it is that gap filling vehicle that is a bridge between the 4th generation current in game in that tech tree to the 5th generation in the future. Another one would be the F4E Peace Icarus. Peace Icarus 2000 is an upgrade that they did to the F4E to make the APG 65 fit in the F4E. It was actually with the help of the Germans, with the success with the F4F ICE, right? To be able to fire AIM-120s, AIM-9Ms, guided bombs, and other things, right? So what would the actual gap be here? Well, this vehicle would actually bridge the gap between the Kurnas 2000 and the 4th generation jets. It would actually be what the Kurnas 2000 cannot be in this tech tree, which is a very modern F4, right? Although the Kurnas 2000 is a very modern vehicle, it doesn't have any BVR weapon, and it cannot receive any BVR weapon, right? Weapons. So the PC Icarus 2000, the F4E that they have modernized, can actually be that, which is very cool. So it's a bridging gap between the older F4s, or even the Kurnas 2000, which is like a very modern F4, but it doesn't have the proper abilities of being or of fighting basically the 4th generations, right? So this thing will be able to bridge that gap. Another one that the Greek can actually receive in the Israeli tech tree is the Mirage 2000. Yes, finally an option at 12.7 that will have BVR. Even if it's just the Super 530, it is something that it's gonna be 12.7 that can actually be BVR capable, right? Because these Israelis don't have anything that can do that. Well, the only aircraft that are in 12.7 in that tech tree is the Nets, and the Nets mod, which is, of course, the premium one. And both of these are not capable of dealing any damage in BVR. So the Mirage 2000, the initial ones, can actually be used as that. And even then, even afterwards, the Mirage 2000 of the Greek Air Force actually received upgrades to be able to carry the better RDY engine, radar, and also the Mikas, right? So in the future, we can have another option there with a 14.0 Mirage that would be, almost top tier there, that it's actually a 4th generation, that it's heavily modernized, that has these amazing missiles that will be able to be on par with it, right? Something that the Israelis don't have as well, right? So yeah, another gap that can be filled with another Greek aircraft. And the last one, and probably in my opinion the most interesting one, because it would be the first and maybe even the only nation that can receive it, because technically this is only an export kind of variant of the aircraft, but you never know. The F-16V or the F-16 Block 70, right? 70-72, right? This F-16 is basically a major upgrade to the older F-16Cs and Ds, basically, the idea here is the ESA radar. This is the main upgrade that this vehicle received, the APG 83, if I'm not mistaken. And also, in a general perspective, it would be an aircraft that can have an IRST, it can have modernized electronic warfare systems. It's a near 5th generation F-16, basically. It's the most modern F-16 in existence, if I'm not mistaken, making an F-16 as close as possible to a 5th generation, right? And surpassing the Sufa. Yes, it would surpass the Sufa. And it would help, again, together with the Rafale and together with other vehicles, to bridge that gap between the 4th generations that we have in the game and the 5th generations in the future. And that's where I think these Ready Tech 3 lacks the most. They don't have anything that it's really bridging that gap. I mean, the Sufa is there, the F-15I is there, but there's nothing that it's a Rafale, there's nothing that's an Eurofighter that can be added, right? The US doesn't have that as well, and many other nations. But yeah, these Readies are one, and of course we're talking about them in this case, right? And the F-16V or the Block 70 here could actually help, together with the Rafale, bridge that gap as well. Okay, guys? So these are 4 vehicles that we can receive in these Ready Tech 3 that are from Greece, that would fill gaps that are needed to be filled, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments any aircraft that would you like to see, right? And of course, remember, guys, this is not a complete list of all the vehicles that the Greek can actually receive in that Tech 3. I might do a video about that and stuff. But yeah, let's wait and see a little bit of how it will be in the future, okay? So, yeah, see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye, guys.